Hey, what's going on, shrimp keepers? It is Friday. I figured I would do a little shrimp room tour Friday, and I haven't done a fish room tour in a while, so I figured I'd show you guys mine again. Kind of show you the updates, kind of the new stuff that I got going on, and kind of just show you how all the shrimp are doing before we get the big import in. So it's going to be exciting to see the transformation between now and then. Hopefully the order goes good. But sorry it's been so long. It's been crazy. Holidays are always crazy. 2 days ago, my wife, her dog of 16 years, I think it was, it's been a long time, it's like 14 to 16, passed away. And so she's really been devastated about that. So that makes it a little tougher. So she's in Indiana and I'm here all by myself. And so, yeah, it's sad. I mean, it sucks. It's never fun losing a pet. And I'm sure almost all of you are pet owners if you're watching this video, so you know the pain of losing a pet. So anyway, let's not focus too much on that, but definitely, if you guys believe in God, pray for her, please. And her and her family are taking it pretty tough, and it's sad for me to watch. But anyway, let's get into a shrimp room tour, and we're gonna do all the tanks, and so it's gonna be a fun, long video. So stay tuned. All right, tank one. This is we're gonna start on A rack. This is a tank that still needs broken down. This one currently has some Call Neocaridina shrimp, and then also a black tiger colony, which wasn't doing good for a while, then started doing really good, and is now pretty stagnant. Although I did see a buried female in here the other day. So this tank just needs tore down, and the tigers moved to their appropriate rack, and so on and so forth. And then over here we have like a black tiger / royal blue colony. You can see there's a nice buried one. She's got a lot of eggs. There's some babies in here, and I mean, they're all over, so this is good. This first rack that we're looking at, this is A rack, and this is going to be black tigers and royal blues. Down here is the Subwasser tank. I mean, it's just, you can see it's just absolutely insane how thick this thing grows. There is wood underneath there, Malaysian driftwood, but you can't even tell. But this is a really good royal blue or blue dream colony. I mean, they're beautiful. They kind of, this colony again has gone back and forth. Like sometimes it does really well, and sometimes it doesn't. So right now it's doing really well, which is awesome. Let's see. Yeah, so they're gorgeous. And another thing to point out, this is that black tiger colony, our royal blue colony that didn't do well. There's only like 4 left, and I think we started with 40 or so in here. So that sucks, but you get that every once in a while. For whatever reason, that tank just didn't do well. Again, another black tiger / royal blue colony. This one's mainly black tigers. I think Amanda called this one and took all the royal blues out. But there's some babies in there. I don't know if you can see the little ones. But again, Subwasser tank doing really well. And yeah, there's a couple nice ones on the back glass. It'll focus. Yeah. And then we got the 40 gallons. Down here there's plenty of babies. Just doing well. Again, the rest of these tanks are going to be royal blue / black tigers, just depending. And doing really good. All of these tanks that we set up are breeding now. As you can see, there's babies all over the place. Just one isn't breeding. I don't know why. I don't even know what to think, honestly. It's this one. There was a couple buried ones, and then the algae in this tank is worse than the other tanks, which means something. And so, so I'm going to do a big water change on here and see if it affects anything. But I haven't seen any babies in here, but I have seen plenty of buried ones. And the tank right next door that we just looked at, this one over here, which is breeding like crazy, was set up at the same time with this, with the same age shrimp. So this tank should have babies, and it doesn't, which means that, you know, something funky's going on in there. So I need to figure this out. This is mainly a blue dream tank, or a royal blue tank. As you can see, there's some really tiny babies down there, and a lot of buried females in here. There's one right there. But yeah, these guys are always doing well. They're always breeding. There's a little baby. And yeah, I have no complaints about the royal blues. When we walk around the corner, B rack is gonna be our miscellaneous tiger rack. What we're actually gonna do is I'm gonna do, you see these ones are all empty, these 540 breeders. I'm doing all tangerine tigers in there. And this is one of the tangerine tiger tanks that is breeding really, really well. I gotta find where they took their food. It might be right here, but there are tons. Let's see. It's all about finding where they stole the food to, and I can't find it, so I don't know. But there's quite a few in there. Yeah, I really don't know where they took it. But anyway, yeah. So they're breeding really good, which makes me really happy, because that's one shrimp that I've been wanting to breed for a while now. This tank's empty. This one's gonna be. I mean, there's nothing in there. There's just a subwasser tank. But this is the PRL tank. These guys are always breeding really well too, and their fluval shrimp stratum is fully depleted, and they're still breeding and growing, and it's good. And their pH is, I would say, like over like 7.1 or something like that. So definitely a hardy line, definitely hardy. But I really do need it. We're gonna break this tank and call them, and put the lesser quality ones in with the crystals, and to help bring that genetic line up, and then take the best ones and then selectively breed them. This is a regular tiger tank. This tank's really not doing too good. I don't know what it was. It might have just been the tigers where we got them from, that they just didn't survive well. But we bought 20 of them, and of 20 I think there's about 9 left. And then up here we got the super tigers, which finally we have a nice big buried female. I don't know where she is. There she is. Check her out. There we go. And she's nice and buried. And so this tank is finally making things happen, more or less. And so I'm real pumped about that. The Aurora Blue tank is really dirty, so you're not going to be able to see them. But they're doing well. There's a saddled one. I don't know if I saw any buried ones recently, but this tank has been doing well, so I'm happy about that. Over here I got the yellows. This rack, this is C rack. This is yellows and orange neos, and so this is one of the yellow tanks. You can see the mineral rocks just shattered. We used them in old tanks, and then we took them out and they dried, and then we rinsed them to put them back in, and they're not very good at being reused, so they shattered to pieces. But anyway, so this is one of the yellow tanks. Sorry for the awesome camera work. This is an orange tank. This is one of our better tanks. I mean, this one has just been breeding like crazy. I don't know how good it shows up in the video, but there's a ton of shrimp right there, and there's little babies everywhere along the mat and filter. And people always ask me what this is, and that's actually a shrimp hatchery. So what it is when a mom dies with eggs, you take the eggs off of her and put them in this little thing, and then they hatch over time. And it keeps the flow going and all that good stuff, so they don't die or they don't fungus up. Another yellow tank. This is a colony that I had from a long time ago that really never had a chance to do anything great, and so a lot of them died off, but luckily I had enough to where it's going to be able to start to rebound. And I think we put about 30 in here. I'm trying to see if there's any buried ones, because this is a bottom tank, so we don't look at it too much. I see a bunch of saddled ones, which is a great thing, but none buried as of now, I don't think. Maybe this one, but no, not looking like it. But yeah, so I'm happy because there's not tons dying down there. This tank was imported yellows that we got from someone else, and they never did good. You actually see I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, little detritus worms. You know they're not planaria by looking at their head. So like you look at the very, very tip of them, and as long as it's not a triangular head, you're good. See if it'll focus in on it. There we go. See how there's no triangular head? So those are completely harmless. And there are some yellow rabbit snails in here, which are growing up. So we're gonna leave this tank up until we get our import order in, and then restock it with some yellows. Up here, this is orange Rillies that I had from an old colony. I got rid of all of them, but somehow these ones survived as babies. And so we just threw them in this tank to see what happens. If they breed well, then great. But this is more or less Amanda's project, which is my wife, if you guys don't know. She really loves the orange Rillies. I'm over them because they're so prone to bacterial infections. I'm just not even willing to work with them anymore. But she's gonna work with them and see what happens, and hopefully she can make something good out of it. This tank's broken down. This tank's gonna be broken down. It has the Colombian ram's horn snails in it, and then it also has some blue Rillies in it, which have a red head, red tail, and a blue midsection. These are actually how they derived the blue velvet, and so that's kind of cool. But this tank's getting broken down. This tank is like, I don't even know. Originally it was a Caridina Babolti, and then I put tiger shrimp in there thinking that they wouldn't cross, and I think that they crossed. I don't really know. And so now there's like all these funky shrimp, and I'm not sure. Like some of them have stripes and they're buried, and then other ones don't have stripes. And so it's almost impossible to tell which ones are the tigers, except for like that one. That one's obviously a tiger. That one's obviously a tiger. But there are a lot in here that you're like, not really sure. So this tank's just kind of there for now until we get around to breaking it down. It's got a lot of yellow rabbit snails in it, and then also it has a lot of chocolate rabbit snails in it, which they don't crossbreed. At least they haven't for me. This tank is an orange tank. I don't think I fed it, so I'm glad I'm making this video. Let me pause the video and feed them real quick. Voila. But no, this tank actually had what was it, Hydra, which are like these little like jellyfish type things, and so I think it really depleted some of the colony. And I didn't catch it because like these bottom tanks, like it's so hard to get down here on your hands and knees and look at them, and so they get a little bit neglected. And so when I do the next fish room, I'm not going to put any tanks this low. But anyway, this was a yellow tank. I might have said it was an orange tank, but it was a yellow Neo tank. We started about a month ago, a little over a month ago, and it's doing okay. It bred one time. A couple of the adults that we got in died, and the babies are growing up, so that's always a good thing because most of the time the babies live. Like you guys can see, all of these are babies except for like that one by the rock that's coming over. And so yeah, so it's good. The next rack we're going to look at is the buffered rack, and this is the LED lights that make the shimmering effect. Let me just turn them up so they don't. It bothers me so much. There's that one. Yeah, I don't know why, but with the Google Pixel and the Samsung Galaxy, with these Fluval 2.0 planted lights, if they're dimmed at all, like you're not going to be able to see, or you're going to get like this shimmering effect. But let me see if I can get it from the side. This is the crystal tank. There's quite a few in there, maybe like 100 or so. And they've been doing pretty well. And then you got these guys. And people always ask me why I put substrate in the containers opposed to putting it on the bottom. I just wanted to kind of see how it worked with plants. And sorry for the focus. Class is filthy. I want to see how it worked with plants, and also if I ever want to change out the substrate, I literally just take the tub out and put a new tub in. And so it's more or less ease of keeping the tank up and going. And so I'm just kind of testing it out, seeing what happens, and if it works out good and I like it, I'll keep doing it. If not, I'll go back to putting it in the bottom of the tank. And then, so that's that. Here's another Tangerine Tiger tank, which is doing excellent. There's like, I want to say there's 5 or 6 buried females in here. You can see there's babies all along the bottom. And I'm so excited about the Tangerine Tigers. A lot of people, you know, Tangerine Tigers aren't hard to breed. I mean, honestly, most people would probably consider them easy. But it's just a shrimp that I love so much, like the color of them. Like, it's hard to beat that orange color. And I really enjoy these shrimp, so I'm really excited that they're breeding and doing well. And we have 2 good-sized colonies of them going, which is awesome. The import order, we're gonna get, I think 300 or 400 more in, which will be awesome. And so everything's awesome. Everything is awesome. You guys ever see that movie? If not, you're not gonna have any idea what I'm talking about. It's the Lego movie. Yeah, I went there. But this is black tiger, or not black tigers, crystal blacks. Some really nice high grade ones in there. Oh, there's a nice buried one. And so yeah, so I'm loving this tank. There's 3 buried females in there from what I can see. And so that's gonna be good. This is the Taiwan bee tank, which they've actually been doing really well. I don't know if they're breeding, but the babies are growing from the first time they bred, and I'm really not getting any deaths, which is great for me. Like, you know, I'm happy about it. And I apologize about this glass. It's pretty nasty. And then this is a PRL tank. We already took some of the nicest PRLs from our pure red line colony. That's what a PRL is, and put them in here. I don't think there's any males that are quite mature enough to start breeding with the females, but there are some big females in here, and there's some really nice shrimp. So that would be good to get those up and breeding. These are the, oh, see that glimmering? Let me turn this light up too. All right, so this is like a low grade crystal black tank, but also these guys were mixed with tigers at some point, and you can tell by this big female, like she just has some really cool patterns on her. And so so we separate these, and we're really excited to see what comes from these. At some point we might mix in another tiger gene, but there's just some really cool patterns in here. A lot of people don't like these because they're low grade, but honestly I really like them. Like, these are one of my favorite shrimp as far as looks go. In the shrimp room, just to get up here and kind of see what's going on. I'm waiting for a big buried female, so I'm always up here looking. Nothing yet, but hopefully soon. This is like the mixed Michelin tank. A little bit of everything. There's some really nice high grade ones in here. You can see right there, ones eating the food. And yeah, there's just some beautiful shrimp in here. I got some fizz. All right, so we're back, and sorry, the video actually cut out because it was too big of a file. But anyway, yeah, so this tank's really doing good. This is like the reds, the high grade reds, and no complaints. You know, just your typical crystal reds. I'm sorry again for the crappy camera work. I'm still getting used to this Google Pixel and how it focuses and stuff like that. So even now I'm not really happy with it. But I mean, the video really, the quality of the camera is really nice. It just, the focus is so weird. So it takes some getting used to. Let me move this ladder back. And this is like the black or the black crystals, and some nice ones. Fizzins is really doing good. There's a lot of it back there, and these tanks they're doing good. I know I kind of messed up if you guys watched that video. I added them in. I forgot to add remineralizer to the RO water, and so there was like there was some RO, or there was some already remineralized water in here. So the TDS was like 60 or 40 or something like that. And luckily I didn't really lose any. I lost one in here today, the blacks. I haven't lost any reds. I lost like 12 in the mixed tank. But so far so good. I'm really, I thought I'd lose a lot more. Again, I gotta turn up this light. Oh, it's on this side. No, it's not. Sorry, I don't know where the little light switch is. It is on the other side. Sorry, I'm such a noob. Okay. This is the mixed tank. Still a little bit of a shimmer, but that's okay. This is the calls. These came from blue reelies, which you can see there's like a nice blue reelie right there. Well, I'm gonna try to turn that back up. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so there's some, these came from blue willies, which are the red head, the red tail, and the blue midsection. And there's some really nice shrimp in here. And then over here, these came from like blue dreams and carbon willies and chocolates and like a little bit of everything. So you get some really interesting colors out of them. You can see there's some nice solid ones back there. But these are just the 2 call tanks that we're gonna keep. And any shrimp that isn't up to our par, we're gonna put in there. This is the orange-eyed blue tiger tank. As you can see, there's tons of them. I'd say there's probably about 200 in here. And then there's tons of yellow rabbit snails. They've been breeding really well in here. They've been breeding really well in here. And so this tank has been a good tank for us. And down here is another royal blue tank. This actually needs moved to the other rack. You can see there's some babies in here. There's probably 4 or 5 buried females in here. So we're trying to move them before they have their babies. Just because if they have babies, then, you know, when we break this tank down, our odds of, you know, sucking up babies and getting rid of them and not knowing it, it's pretty high. So we're in a hurry to get this one done, just to get these moved and complete that A rack. Here's a nice buried one. And then over here was an old tangerine tiger tank that had yellow rabbit snails in here. So there's still a couple tangerine tigers in here. They're not doing anything. And then there's tons of yellow rabbit snails. You can see a couple on the log. Here's one up here. And they've been breeding really good. This again is another one of our good tanks. And here's the red tiger tank. And these guys are getting moved to the B rack, which is our miscellaneous tiger rack. And hopefully, because they haven't done anything in like a year, probably a little over a year. And so it'd be nice to move them to a new tank, kind of give them a new setup, new water parameters, new bacteria, and trick them into breeding again. And these are ones that we really need to get breeding again, and because you really can't find them anymore. I mean, a couple people sell them, but they're not a shrimp that's like widely available. Blue dream tank with some nice yellow rabbit snails. You can see there's a baby. There's a couple adults right there, and tank's doing good. The 20 gallons actually do a lot better than the 40 gallons with these guys. At least we found it. I don't know what's going on with the camera. Down here is a blue velvet tank. It looks like there's a buried female right there. There's a baby that just landed. So this tank's doing well. It's not doing really well, but it's doing well. And they're breeding, which is great. Now these tanks, I got these 2 bottom ones are empty. This tank's doing awesome. So this is another blue velvet tank, and they just keep breeding like crazy. So this one's doing really well, and the one right above it is doing well, which I don't know what it is about 20 longs, but that seems to be the magic sauce right now, and that's what things are breeding the best in. And so you can even see on this leaf, there's, let's see if it'll focus. There's babies all over it. It's not focusing too good. But yeah, so that tank's doing really good. Another blue dream tank. There's some really pretty ones in there. Some calls that we need to get out of there. There's one that looks like carbon really, so got to call that out. But again, they're just breeding really, really good, so no complaints whatsoever. And then you got a red really tank, which this one desperately needs called along with the one next to it, but we kind of just put them in here because we were in a hurry, and I figured we could call them later. So this is one that just needs called. And if you guys don't know what a red really is, it means it's got a red head, a red tail, and a clear midsection. So this one's a red really tank, but as you can see, no red willies. So this was one that was not a good tank to begin with. So I would never sell these as red willies, but that's what they originally were. So the colony has depleted over time. Chocolate shrimp. another tank that we have to break down and move these shrimp and get them set up into new ones. And these ones are still really nice. Chocolates are those type of shrimp that you get a ton of colors out of. You know, Bloody Marys and a lot of the Blue Dreams actually originated from chocolate shrimp, so that's kind of interesting. This is a Bloody Mary tank. And see there, I mean, these guys are spectacular. There's some really pretty ones in here. And then there's also chocolate rabbit snails, which you can see there's one right there. And then there's an adult peeking out of the sand. There's another baby right there. And so we're really getting the rabbit snail population up too. And then you can see there's babies galore in here. If it'll let me focus. I don't know, but all those little specks are babies. And we'll try to focus on my finger. Oh yeah, I crushed my finger. Nope, this camera stinks. There we go, whatever. But this tank's doing well. There's a buried one right there. Fanning our eggs. And so, yep. Hospital tank that went just bad, and there's a baby fish. Yeah, I really don't like recording on this phone anymore, just because of how bad the quality is. We already looked at that tank. Over here we got just a fire red tank, or it's just a red Neocaridina tank, because I don't want to say it's fire red, but there's some nice shrimp in there, there's some not some nice shrimp, so on and so forth. Tons of baby rabbit snails, which is great. One below that was empty. This is another red Neocaridina tank, some really nice ones. This tank's breeding a lot too, that's great. And so on and so forth. We've been calling these a lot to sell cherry shrimp, and so that's been good with getting the population quality up, and also giving people some good genetics as far as cherry shrimp go. And this again is another nice tank. This one hasn't been breeding as much, but you know, they're getting to the point now where they're going to start breeding. And winter is always the best breeding season for shrimp, so that's a good thing to know. Just some more cherry shrimp, or reds, and then some rabbit snails. These were the white spotted rabbit snails. There was one baby, and then there's a dead one in the back, maybe two dead ones, which stinks, but yep, it is what it is. Then we go across here. This one's empty, this one's empty. This one's pretty much empty. It's like these, I don't know why the camera does that. See how it like gets black over here? Whatever. These ones were like volcano shrimp. They weren't the Opeola, they were a different one. Self-cloning craze, you know, nothing to look at down there. But anyway, these guys did terrible, so I'd never get them again. They were just cheap and I wanted to see what they looked like, but they were ugly. This is like a carbon relay tank that I've had ever since I first started shrimp. You can look back and see videos from like 4 years ago of this colony, and it's still going. And they've been breeding really good. I mean, it's not the best quality, but with some calling, you know, you could get some really nice ones out of these again. So that's what we're working on. And down below, chocolate rabbit snails. There's really not too many shrimp in there. There's some, what is it, cherry shrimp, but they're not even that nice. They've been down there for so long. Up above, this tank's empty. This one's empty, just some Swasser tang. Down here is the snowballs, which they have been breeding, which is awesome. You can see some babies behind the leaf, and then there's some babies on here, but you won't be able to see that. And so this is a tank that's doing really well, and we're excited about it. There's some nice saddled ones. I don't know if there's any buried ones down here, but they're doing good. We haven't seen any deaths, so that's always a positive thing. Another orange-eyed blue tiger tank. There's some nice ones down here. I think I say that about every tank almost. But yeah, so these guys we've had for probably about 6 months, and they're doing good. They're actually on their second generation now. Some more carbons. These ones have buried up a couple times, and there's some babies in there. I don't see any right now, but definitely some babies. I'm so sorry about this camera. This thing stinks. This will probably be the last big video I record on it. And then up here, chocolate shrimp, just tons and tons of them. A lot of ugly ones. You can see a lot of clear ones right here, but there are some nice ones still in there. And then again, the white spotted rabbit snails. These ones have never bred in here, except for I just see an empty shell. So they might have bred once and it died, but they haven't been breeding since. And so yeah, it is what it is. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. It was a long video, and sorry about the camera being all crappy. I'll turn it around real quick. I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but sorry about the camera. It is what it is. It's recording on the phone. I'm gonna get a vlogging camera. Don't tell my wife. And I gotta do that just so I have something to shoot quick videos on. And then I did get a big camera, so I don't even know what it is. I have to look, but I haven't got it out to really figure out how it works. So that's that. But anyway, I will come at you guys tomorrow. I've never said that before. I don't know why I said it. But tomorrow I'm going to be bringing out a Shrimp Saturday video. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but I'm going to figure it out. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. Make it a great weekend. Be safe tonight. And I'll keep the videos coming. We're back on a normal schedule now that the holiday season is over. So you guys make it a great night, and I will talk with you guys soon. Later.